Every young football player dreams of hearing their name called during the NFL draft. It's a moment that represents not just the culmination of years of hard work, but also the realization of a lifelong goal. For many, it's the ultimate reward for countless early mornings, grueling practices, and sacrifices made both on and off the field. The draft is more than just a ceremony. It's a symbol of hope, validation, and the promise of a new beginning. For athletes, it's the day when all the sweat, pain, and perseverance finally pay off, and the world takes notice of their talent and dedication. For IsaiahBond, a star college wide receiver known for his electrifying speed and ability to make big plays in crucial moments, that dream seemed closer than ever. His performances on the field had captured the attention of fans and scouts alike, and his name was quickly rising on draft boards across the country. Experts projected him as a top prospect, destined for an early-round selection and a bright NFL future. Analysts praised his work ethic, his leadership, and his potential to become a game-changer at the next level. The excitement surrounding his draft stock was palpable, but everything changed in an instant when Bond faced a serious sexual assault accusation. The news sent shockwaves through the football community, putting his career and reputation in immediate jeopardy. Suddenly, the narrative shifted from his athletic achievements to the controversy surrounding his personal life. The spotlight that once celebrated his talent now scrutinized every aspect of his life. The focus moved from his highlight reel catches to the legal case threatening to end his dream before it truly began. The pressure was immense, and the stakes had never been higher. The stress of the draft process, already intense for any athlete, was magnified by relentless public scrutiny and the uncertainty of his future. Every decision, every statement, and every appearance was analyzed and debated by fans, media, and teams alike. Teams hesitated, wary of the off-field issue, and Bond was forced to prove his character under the harshest spotlight imaginable. He had to answer difficult questions, not just about his skills, but about his integrity and the person he was off the field. One moment, he was a celebrated future star. The next, he was fighting to clear his name and save his dream. The emotional toll was overwhelming, as he grappled with the possibility of losing everything he had worked for. His story became about resilience in the face of adversity, as he navigated a profound personal and legal battle. Each day was a test of his resolve, forcing him to dig deep and find strength he never knew he had. The journey ahead was uncertain, but it would ultimately reveal IsaiahBond's true character, his strength, determination, and unwavering commitment to overcoming the toughest challenges life could throw at him. To understand IsaiahBond's case, you need to know about the grand jury process. A grand jury reviews evidence to decide if there's enough to formally charge someone with a crime, not to determine guilt. If they find probable cause, they issue an indictment or true bill. If not, they return a no bill, meaning the case won't proceed. This is a crucial safeguard, ensuring people aren't put on trial without sufficient evidence. In Bond's case, the grand jury returned a no bill after reviewing all the facts, concluding there wasn't enough reason to charge him. This decision ended the criminal proceedings and cleared his name. For Bond, it was the outcome he desperately needed, a chance to move forward. The no bill allowed him to finally begin rebuilding his life and career. On August 14, 2025, IsaiahBond received the life-changing news he'd been hoping for. After months of uncertainty and anxiety, the grand jury returned a no bill. This meant that after careful review of the evidence and testimony, they found no grounds to proceed with the case against him. The decision officially cleared Isaiah of all charges, bringing an end to a chapter filled with fear, doubt, and public scrutiny. The sexual assault case that had cast a shadow over his life was finally over. The weight that had threatened his future, his career, and his relationships was suddenly lifted, replaced by a sense of relief and gratitude. For Isaiah, this moment marked a profound turning point. With his name cleared, he could begin to rebuild his reputation and restore the professional prospects that had been put on hold. The support of his family, friends, and community had carried him through the darkest days, and now he could finally look ahead. Headlines that once focused on accusation and controversy now shifted to stories of exoneration and hope. The faith of his supporters was validated, and the narrative around Isaiah began to change. The grand jury's decision offered Isaiah a fresh start, a chance to reclaim his dreams and focus on what he loved most: football. The field, once a place of uncertainty, was now a symbol of possibility. With the legal barrier finally gone, Isaiah was free to pursue his NFL dream without the cloud of suspicion hanging over him. He could train, compete, and plan for the future with renewed determination. Now, teams and scouts could evaluate him for his talent, work ethic, and potential, not his legal troubles. The door to a professional career was open once again. IsaiahBond was no longer a player in limbo, but a free agent ready to prove himself on the biggest stage. The uncertainty was gone, replaced by opportunity. This was the beginning of a new chapter, one defined not by allegations but by hope, resilience, and the promise of a brighter future. The path forward was clear, and it was up to IsaiahBond to seize every opportunity, determined to write his own story from here on out. Before legal troubles, IsaiahBond was a rising star at Alabama, known for his blazing speed and clutch performances. He made a name for himself with game-changing plays, including a legendary game-winning touchdown in the 2023 Iron Bowl. Bond's ability to deliver in high-pressure moments set him apart. After Alabama, he transferred to Texas, where he became a primary target and continued to shine. His adaptability and production at two powerhouse programs made him a top NFL prospect. Scouts loved his elite speed, reliable hands, and experience in big games. By the end of his college career, Bond was projected as a first- or second-round pick. His future looked incredibly bright, until everything changed. The NFL Draft was supposed to be IsaiahBond's crowning achievement, a celebration of his talent and hard work. For years, he had poured everything into the game, pushing through grueling practices, late-night film sessions, and the relentless pressure to perform. The draft was more than just a professional milestone. It was the moment he and his family had dreamed of since he first picked up a football as a child. With his college resume, he was expected to be an early pick, but the pending legal charge changed everything. Suddenly, the narrative around him shifted. Instead of being celebrated for his athleticism and leadership, he found himself under a cloud of suspicion, his future uncertain. Teams became wary, shifting focus from his on-field skills to the risk of his unresolved case. Scouts who once praised his speed and instincts now questioned his character and reliability. The conversations in draft rooms grew tense, and his name slipped further down the list. As the draft unfolded, Bond's name was never called. He went undrafted, a shocking outcome for a player of his caliber. The silence was deafening. Each round that passed without his name felt like another door closing, another opportunity lost. The dream that felt so close was suddenly out of reach, replaced by uncertainty and disappointment. The weight of expectations, his own and those of everyone who believed in him, became almost unbearable. He was left to grapple with the reality that everything he'd worked for might be slipping away. Going undrafted was a humbling blow, but it also made him a free agent, able to sign with any team once cleared. It was a small glimmer of hope in an otherwise dark moment. His agent reminded him that the journey wasn't over, and that sometimes the hardest setbacks lead to the greatest comebacks. Watching others achieve their dreams while he waited on the sidelines tested his resolve. The celebrations of his peers were bittersweet reminders of what he'd lost, but also of what he still hoped to achieve. Each day, he had to find new motivation to keep going. It was a low point, but also the start of a comeback story defined by perseverance. Bond returned to the basics, training alone, focusing on his craft, and refusing to let disappointment define him. He knew that redemption would only come through hard work and patience. Bond's journey was far from over. He just needed a second chance. Every sunrise brought new hope, and every day was another opportunity to prove himself, both on and off the field. That chance would come from a team willing to believe in him. For IsaiahBond, the road ahead was uncertain, but his determination to rise above adversity would define the next chapter of his life. Even before the draft and legal troubles, the Cleveland Browns saw IsaiahBond's potential. They met with him at the NFL Combine and brought him in for a top 30 visit, signaling serious interest. When Bond went undrafted due to his legal situation, most teams moved on, but the Browns kept watching. Their early interactions gave them confidence in his character, and they quietly supported him through the ordeal. As soon as Bond was cleared, the Browns acted quickly, reaching out to offer him a contract. Their faith was more than a business move. It was a lifeline for Bond. The Browns' belief in him provided the opportunity he desperately needed. They weren't just signing a player, they were offering a second chance. This act of faith set the foundation for a strong partnership. For Bond, it was the break he'd been fighting for. After being cleared, IsaiahBond shared a heartfelt message on social media, expressing gratitude and relief. He thanked God, his family, and his legal team for their unwavering support during the ordeal. Bond also publicly thanked the Cleveland Browns for believing in him, even before the legal process was complete. His message was humble and forward-looking, focused on the future, not the past. He expressed excitement to join the Browns and a determination to prove their faith was well placed. Bond's words resonated with fans, showing humility and a strong desire to succeed. He made it clear he was ready to work hard and be the best teammate possible. This statement helped rebuild his public image and set a positive tone for his new chapter. Bond embraced his second chance with gratitude and focus. Now a Cleveland Brown, IsaiahBond's next challenge is earning a spot on the final roster. Joining late, he must quickly learn the playbook, build chemistry, and get into peak shape. The Browns' receiver room has established stars, but there are open spots for competition. Bond's world-class speed gives him a real shot to stand out in camp and preseason games. A few explosive plays could catch coaches' eyes and prove he belongs. Special teams contributions could also secure his place. Even if he doesn't make the roster immediately, the practice squad offers a path to develop. For the first time in a long while, Bond's football future is in his own hands. Hard work and patience will determine his next steps. IsaiahBond's story is about more than football. It's a testament to resilience and second chances. He faced accusations, disappointment, and public scrutiny, but never lost hope. His journey shows that setbacks don't define us. How we respond does. The Browns' belief in him gave Bond the platform to restart his career. Now, he has the chance to prove himself on and off the field. His story inspires others facing adversity to persevere and believe in themselves. Trust, opportunity, and hard work are at the heart of his comeback. Bond's future is now in his hands, with a clean slate and an open door. His journey is a powerful example of overcoming adversity and embracing a second chance. IsaiahBond's new chapter in Cleveland is just beginning, and many will be cheering him on.